You're listening to First Fossil. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first fossil. Hello and welcome to First Fossil, a show where we learn together how to take that first fossil toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olushala, and at the moment that this is airing, it is the day before the American United States Thanksgiving Day. So I just want to wish all of you guys an early happy Thanksgiving. I know it is a weird year to celebrate really anything, between quarantining, social distancing, wearing masks, figuring out how you're going to eat with the mask on, Zoom holiday dinners. It's just an odd time to be trying to be thankful for things, and yet there's still so much to be thankful for. I know a lot of people are probably going to have a more challenging time this year figuring out what they're going to be thankful for. I get it, because we've been dealing with a lot of losses this year, whether from COVID or from something else. We've dealt with unemployment. We've dealt with racial injustice. We've dealt with the elections and not having a resolve yet. It's a lot to still process. There's still a lot of people suffering right now, but we can wake up and see another day. We have something like Zoom to try to have some sense of normalcy, even though there's absolutely nothing at all that is normal about a Zoom dinner. But we are trying. We are trying within the context of what we can control, and that which we can't, we gotta roll with the punches, guys. So I still hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And for those of you who listen and are not in the United States, I just hope you have a great week and that is filled with joy and love, as challenging as that might feel sometimes during a pandemic. But it's there. I promise you it's there. And I hope you can find that during this time. I'm going to tell you what I'm thankful for personally. So this year for me, I had mentioned a few episodes back in episode 8 with Dr. Candace Knowlton. She asked me what the theme for me was this year, and the theme has been redemption, restoration, and rejuvenation in Christ Jesus. And it has been exactly that for me. And I'm not saying that I have not felt the impact of COVID. Trust me, I am single like a Pringle, living all by myself, and I just miss hugs, y'all. I just miss a hug. The warm embrace, you know what I'm saying? So I've also had a lot of family members that have passed away from COVID and other illnesses, and very much back to back, to where it was just overwhelming to see the waves of loss and not being able to comfort in person, not being able to attend funerals. Not that attending all those funerals would have been possible because there were so many deaths at one time, but it's still been a lot to process. And at the same time, I have felt like I've been in an oasis of some sort on my own journey of personal healing and personal growth, and knowing my worth and stepping into that with confidence and just enjoying being who God created me to be. So I feel like I'm in my own world of celebration, that I'm leaving 2020 a better me than I entered it, and that I'm thankful for. So I hope you guys can dig deep and you can find something that you are thankful for, despite all of the hardships that we've had this year. And I think globally we can all at least relate to that. So maybe this is what you're thankful for, having a podcast to keep you distracted from all the craziness that we're dealing with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, well, I'm glad I can provide you something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. Now, I kind of want to get into the topic today because it's related to Thanksgiving. And today's question actually comes from First Basso listener and Twitter user at MissaFT, who asked a question about having conversations at your Thanksgiving meal with people of different faiths. So at MissaFT asked, how do you keep it civil, or better yet, full of compassion? Yo, that's a great question. You know what I'm saying? It's timely because tomorrow we're not only having Thanksgiving dinner, but we're having it very differently. So there's already a lot of people feeling a type of way just by how we might be choosing to do Thanksgiving. Now, I know for some people they're still going to get together with all their friends and be all up in each other's breath and breathing on each other without mask. Please don't do that. Please find another way. Do a COVID test before you be breathing on Nana Boo Boo this year, please. And then some of you guys have chosen to dwindle down. I'm just having Thanksgiving with my little cousin, and we just gonna have a little powwow together by ourselves in the safety of my home, away from everybody else, and they're not washing their hands, right? And so that's what I'm doing. And then you have some people who are just doing Zoom dinners with the whole family all over the world, or all over the United States. And then some people are just skipping the whole holiday like it's not happening at all because it's just too much. It's too much. So, a lot's happening. But I think this question can fall under any holiday. It can fall under any awkward dinner or not awkward dinner. And we should think about these things when we are gathering with people over a meal of thanks and a meal of joy and cheer, to then want to figure out how to even have a conversation with people of different faiths. I honestly think that the first paso that one should take in a situation where you're coming together to be thankful and joyful and loving and kind, I highly recommend not going into this trying to stir up trouble. Now, I don't know, if you like to wash down your turkey or your tofurkey with some spicy, controversial conversation, hey, you do you, boo. I prefer Welch's Rosé myself. So, I don't like the burn going down my throat of a controversial topic being brought up while I'm just trying to enjoy my turkey. So I recommend strongly that, especially this year when everybody's already kind of on edge, this is probably not the time to go hunting for a way to convince Uncle Joe that he's going to have to convert to whatever you do by the end of this meal. This is not the time. This is the time actually to just really love each other and embrace each other. And, not like fully embrace. It's that social distance embrace from like the heart, from the eyes or something. But don't touch anybody. But, this is the time to really be empathetic, right? So if we have people of different faiths, different religions, different spiritualities, different beliefs in general, attending your social distance, not social distance, masked up, not masked up, wash your hands, maybe you don't wash your hands type of Zoom holiday dinner, it's probably better to try to approach people with curiosity and a listening ear, understanding. So if you are in a setting where you feel like you need to talk about faith, or you desire to talk about faith, knowing that this is an opportunity to have that conversation with different faiths in the room, go in there with a mind of wanting to learn. Ask some really cool questions. I love being in a conversation with people who don't think like me, as long as people are not hateful and rude and disrespectful. If people are willing to listen and trying to seek to understand, not seek to become who I am. Just an introduction, or just showcasing my belief through how I simply treat them, right? You can do the same thing. So I don't think it's anything to really stress out about unless you have that person that's coming who loves to stir up this type of conversation in hopes that it's either really pressing or uncomfortable for people. I would probably try to avoid those conversations as best as possible. If you do have people like that in your circle at the dinner table or the Zoom call, it's too much. It's really too much. It's not necessary. It can cause some really awkward, uncomfortable, and even emotional things. Because, like, look, I'm not trying to, especially this year, y'all, I'm not trying to be upset about someone not understanding my faith or me not believing in someone else's faith when I'm just trying to figure out why someone brought the mac and cheese that was made from Food Network with them Brussels sprouts in it and try to bring it to my house. You see, that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about at my dinner table. I don't want to talk about why you don't believe what I believe. Like, see, it's just too much. So, in all seriousness, anytime you find yourself in a situation that allows you to learn and grow, I would take advantage of it, but knowing that that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to seek to understand, seek to listen. And this honestly permeates through everything that we're going through. If we want to be thankful, you want to talk about something to be thankful for at the table, be thankful that you can be in a space where you can spark empathy in a room. Seek to do that. If you don't understand someone in the room whose political views different from you based off of their faith, seek to still understand. Even if you walk away not understanding, you at least tried and you step away agreeing to disagreeing in kindness and in love and respect versus in vitriol and wanting to put the mashed potatoes in the camera and then kick him out of the Zoom room. See, you don't want to do that. So being kind and loving in that, if you're really struggling with how to bring it up, don't. That's a great first paso to take. Just don't bring it up and just enjoy being in someone's presence. Enjoy the company. Enjoy the fact that you're even able to have a conversation during a pandemic when usually you'd be with them in person if you're not. So don't stress it out. Don't overthink it. Just think of yourself as wanting to hold really awesome conversations. That's all we're really here to do, right? Learn from each other, grow. You might learn something. You might ask a question that clarifies something about someone's faith that you didn't realize. And you may walk away really respecting someone better than you did. Or you may walk away realizing you probably don't want to be in as much conversation with them as before, and that's also okay. You've learned something. But don't seek to stir up any craziness. Don't seek to try to convert anybody. Don't seek to make people feel bad for what they believe. Seek to love, seek to understand, seek to grow. And I think that's the best you can do. So don't stress it out. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And I hope you have something to choose to be thankful for. So I guess my question for you guys that are listening is, how do you hold conversations with people of different faith, whether it's at the dinner table or elsewhere? Are there things that you try to not bring up? Does it depend on who you're talking to? What do you do? And do you have opportunities to speak with people of different faiths, or are you always surrounded by people who think like you? I want to hear from you guys. So shoot me a DM on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and let me know your experiences with being in a room, whether it's family members, friends, coworkers, your bosses, your neighbors, whoever, and being in a space where you have to exercise listening to someone's belief that is contrary to yours. I might read some of them in a future episode. But thank you guys so much for listening to this solo episode. If you have any topics that you want discussed in the future, any conversations to be had, any questions you want me to discuss, let me know. And I'd love to try to answer as many questions as I can. Keep them coming. I'm enjoying them. And until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys. Stay inside, wash your hands, nasty hands. We don't want the Rona, please no more Corona. Quarantine, distancing. Stay inside, wash your hands, nasty hands. We don't want the Rona, please no more Corona. Quarantine, distancing. Oh, stay inside, wash your hands, nasty hands. We don't want the Rona, please no more Corona. Quarantine, distancing. Stay inside, wash your hands, nasty hands. We don't want the Rona, please no more Corona. Quarantine, distancing. We don't want the Rona, please no more Corona. Quarantine, distancing.